From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big morning for September 15th, 2022 from the shores of Santa Monica, California. Good morning. How are you? We have a lot of major economic data that was released minutes ago, and I have it all for you, breaking news on this morning's broadcast. We start with the jobless claims number released by the Department of Labor minutes ago. Did it show that jobless claims went up, or did they go down? They went down. All the latest breaking news on how much they went down, and also what happened with those continuing unemployment claim numbers. Then, the retail sales, the third component of 3 days of inflationary data, released minutes ago. Did the retail sales go higher, like the CPI on Tuesday and like the PPI on Wednesday? All the latest details on that retail sales number released this Thursday morning. Plus, 2 data points released minutes ago for manufacturing. Is the U.S. economy shrinking or growing? I'll jump into one of the numbers and you're going to be shocked. But the most important data released minutes ago is the 2-year bond yield, as it shows a surge. And hold on, what does it mean for you? All the latest across the board. Big money, big massive stimulus, 14 categories of 300 checks, about $300,000 in every U.S. state. We're going to go over all those incredible checks, stimulus checks, in this recording. Tens of thousands of dollars arriving in just days. Absolutely incredible. Stay to the big second half and become a member under this channel to get that incredible membership newsletter Monday through Friday to get those incredible checks. Plus, did you see the latest details on breaking news on Evenings LA last night? I'll recap your benefit raises. The CPI-W for July is released. For August is released. And the September date is released. Of all this major breaking news, plus why this year your benefits will go up more than even last year and has nothing to do with inflation. All the brand new details you've never heard before on this morning's broadcast. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, it's a big day. It's cooler, it's darker, as you can tell, as the sun has yet to even rise on the West Coast. The toast is toasting, the butter is buttering, the coffee is brewing, and the inflation is going higher. The Mornings LA broadcast starts right here, right now. I'm excited you're here as Mornings LA gets underway. Morning, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day. It is certainly cooler here along the coast, and it's certainly darker this morning, as you can notice the flowers and the backdrop of the set is coming on in. Big week is underway, and we're going to go over the big week with the raise of your benefits, the impact of that inflation, and the latest details with so many benchmarks being released minutes ago, like the jobless claims numbers, plus the manufacturing. Oh, baby, we got a lot to go over, and I'm so excited you're here. How are you? Happy Thursday morning. Hope you're having a great day. I'm going to have a lot of wonderful programming today across the channel. Look forward to seeing you in all the shows. We start this morning with so much breaking news. We're going to lead with, of course, the jobless claims number. It's a Thursday morning. You know the Department of Labor releases the new jobless claims number every Thursday and the continuing unemployment claims number. What was that number? Did it go higher? Did it go lower? If you jumped in the live chat and just wrote lower, you got it right. The jobless claims number in the United States economy was about 144,000 the month of April, then surged to 200, then through 230, then 260. A few weeks ago, it went down to 244. And for today, they were looking around that 225, 222, which is where it was last week. Where did it come in at? It came in lower. Wow. It didn't come in the 220s. It didn't come in the 230s. It came even lower. And this is a more beneficial number for labor. 213,000 new jobless claims released for the week ending September 10th. The breaking news right now. This is a drop of 5,000 from the prior week of 225,000. This is lower than expected for Wall Street's estimates, and the continuing unemployment claims also dropped as well. There you go. Good news on the labor front. Let's jump over to the retail sales number. This is the number we've been watching for all week long. Now, remember, no one explains this to people, but I'll explain it to you. Retail sales, what is this number? You go in the market, you buy 1 pint of ice cream, and you're Nancy Pelosi and you're buying $12 ice cream. Well, last month you went in and you bought 1 pint, it was $12. This month you go in and it's $12.50. You're still buying 1 pint, but the retail sales number would show it went up. Retail sales would go up because it's based upon how much you're spending, not how many products you're buying. So the products, if that one product you're buying is more expensive, the retail sales number goes up. And here is also a one that you and I are going to laugh about, because if you had a camera on the set, you would see that I keep all my notes from days earlier and weeks earlier. Why am I laughing? Because last September 11th, I told you what Wall Street was expecting the retail sales number for August being released today to say. They were expecting the Dow a 0.2% increase in retail sales. You open up the reports for today's retail sales number, and they said they're expecting a different number. No, I have my notes, you're expecting a 0.2%. They said they're expecting a no change. No, you're not. I'm fact-checking you. So what came in with that number today? Was it a 0.2% increase? No. It was a 0.3% increase. Higher than expected. The retail sales inflation came in higher than expected. This is Thursday, September 15th, and this is the third day of inflationary data because every month we have the CPI on one day, the PPI the next day, and the retail sales number the third day. And the CPI was higher on Tuesday. The PPI was flat yesterday. And here you go. The retail sales was higher than the prior month and also beating expectations. So where was this driven up by? It was driven up a lot by auto, driven by auto. When you exclude auto sales from the retail sales number, excluding auto, is actually a decrease of 0.3%. Wow. So from a +3 to a -3 is what happens when you remove auto from the calculation. Now, there's a 4.2% decline in gasoline. So when you remove auto and gas, it was basically flat. Wow, fascinating across the board. That was the second data point that was released today. And here's some of the reaction to the news. Higher inflation drove the top line sales figures, but the volumes are obviously falling. I love that comment. That's basically what we said. No one is buying 2 pints of ice cream, just that 1 pint of ice cream is more expensive. That comment's from Pete Bugavar, Chief Investment Officer at Bleakley Advisor Group. Ian Shepperson said there's nothing really for cause for alarm in here. There really isn't. I mean, this is basically what we're expecting. Now, the third number released today, the third data point, is manufacturing. Is the economy growing? Is the economy shrinking? If the manufacturing number shows growth, it's a positive number, like a 1 or a 2 or 3. If the economy is shrinking or contracting, the manufacturing number is a negative number, like a -2 or -3. So we had 2 manufacturing reports released today, the New York Fed and also the Philadelphia Fed. I'm going to run both of them, but let me tell you, they were both negative. But the Philadelphia Fed is this big shocker. Wall Street was looking for the manufacturing number for the Philadelphia Fed to show growth at 2.3. It wasn't growth. It wasn't flat. It was contraction, shrinkage, at -9.9. Whoa, my goodness. So they're expecting a growth in manufacturing of a 2.3 when it was a -9.9. That is a massive contraction across the board. Letting this recording, I'm going to jump into that quote from Joe Biden on September 13th. He said manufacturing is growing. No, it's not. No, it's not. Here you go. Here's the data right today. Manufacturing is not growing. Now, of those data points, the retail sales, the jobs, the manufacturing, Which is the most compelling of those data points for me today? None of them. I'm going to go with the fourth one. I think the fourth one is the most important data point being released this morning. It is the 2-year bond yield. When I give you numbers on this channel, I often round the number up. So instead of saying 2.9, I'll say 3 because it's easier for you to understand. Right now, I'm going to slow it down because you're going to see what has happened to this 2-year bond yield in 2 days. 2 days, and I'm not going to round it up. Remember, the market crash was September 13th, Tuesday. The day before the market crash, the 2-year bond yield was going up. And that 2-year bond yield was going up slowly. But when the stock market crashed on September 13th, you know what happens. Bonds go up. What happened to that 2-year bond on Tuesday, September 13th? The 2-year bond surged to its highest level since 2007, a 3.735. 3.735. That was Tuesday. Wednesday, it went to a 3.79. Today, it's above a 3.80. That was fast, folks. That was very fast. Imagine that Tuesday was a massive jump, 17 basis point, to its highest level since 2007. And you would have thought that was the end of the story for the week, 3.73. From that massive jump on Tuesday to that was a jump to 3.73, highest level since 2007. It's still gone higher, and today it's at 3.80, and it's still going higher. Why is this happening? Because the bond traders anticipate lots of interest rate spikes from the Federal Reserve for the rest of this year, and that the stock market is going to go lower, the bonds are going to go higher, the rates are going to go higher. Remember what I always tell you on this channel. The 3 data points you want to put and etch in stone are: 1, whatever the Federal Reserve says out of their mouth, the governors or the president. Number 2, whatever the bond traders do, you take that to the bank. And number 3, whatever the data shows, left and right. Wow, that is huge. I'll analyze this more on Afternoons LA today at 3 o'clock. It's a big show. Don't miss it at 3 o'clock today. Brand new. Now, one of the major stories, jaw-dropping, breaking news, you never heard before on this channel, hit last night on evenings at 5 o'clock. And if you missed it, I'm going to recap it right now. You have never heard it before on Mornings LALATE. It's huge. It's your benefits. Your benefits raises got a lot of breaking news last night at 5 o'clock. And I'm going to recap it right now. I'm going to go over the easiest stuff first, and then I'll slow it down when it gets to the more complicated part. First, your benefits are going to go up, the highest of a generation. You know that, because inflation is the highest of a generation. You know that. And you know that 3 months of data determines how much your benefits go up. You know that. It's July, August, and September. First breaking news report is we now know when the third and final number is released. This September, we're living it right now, the September CPI is released October 13th. October 13th. So that's the third and final number. The date in which we learn how much your benefits are going to go up for not just this next year, but lifetime, is October 13th as well. Pencil that in. This is breaking news. More breaking news. We now know the CPI-W for July and August. Let's recap. Your benefits are going up based upon COLA. COLA is determined by 3 months of data. And that 3 months of data is the CPI-W for the month of July, released back on August 10th. The CPI-W for the month of August, released this week on September 13th. And the final and third and final CPI-W for this month, September, released on October 13th. We now know the date. So we now also today have the actual CPI-W numbers, not the CPI, but the CPI-W. That is what raises your benefits up. And here you go. You ready? July's CPI-W was 8.7. August's CPI-W for this week was 8.9. It went higher. Congratulations. Great news across the board. Now, here you go. The final CPI, of course, will be released October 13th. This is what is getting very exciting. This is data, but it's also application data. Will this current final third month of that CPI-W change dramatically? No. No. Why? The Federal Reserve is the only body that is impacting this CPI-W dramatically, other than gasoline. And they did not meet in the month of August because it's summer vacation. They next meet in about 7 to 10 days from now in September. But by then, it's too late. The month of September is almost over, and whatever they do will not filter through the economy by the end of the month. So whatever you and I are experiencing right now is that CPI-W for the month of September. So now let's do some analysis. Let's jump in the live chat right now, and let's pull up that CPI data we got for Tuesday. And let's go through it one at a time and see, do we see it going up? Do we see it going down compared to what we had released earlier this week? Some of this is very, very easy. Some of it we'll discuss in the live chat. First, medical care services, not usually featured on this channel, was the big shocker on Tuesday. That rose in the month of August compared to the prior month of July, nearly 1%, up 0.7%. Do you think medical services are cheaper this month? Yeah, you got to laugh at that. No, of course not. So that's one's easy. We're going to move on. Next one, food. Jump in the live chat. Is food cheaper, the same, or higher this month? Jump in the live chat. Well, the CPI released this week showed that food was higher compared in the month of August compared to the month of July, actually up 0.8%, nearly 1%. It's likely to be the same as well this month. Rent. Again, this is a laugher. Do you think the landlord's giving you a break on the rent and reducing the rent? No, of course not. The landlord's not cutting your rent this month of September. And that rent in the month of August jumped nearly 0.7%. It was up as well. So there you go. Those data points were very, very easy. Salaries. This is also really easy. It's easy because it's laughable, and it's also easy because we have data for it. The salaries. We had the non-farm payroll number released around 3 weeks ago that showed the salaries were going up about 0.2% month to month. And when that CPI was released this week, it went up 0.2% as well. So do you think people are cutting people's salaries? Yeah, you can laugh in the live chat as well. They're not cutting people's salaries, so salaries are going up as well. So LA, is anything going down in this number? Is anything going down in this CPI? No, I mean, except gasoline. Now, here's some breaking news. I have just a by the way in afternoons about it because it's very, very peripheral. We don't know a lot about it. There were reports just minutes ago that the President of the United States may be stopping that release of strategic reserves for gasoline because gasoline has fallen so much. So he may stop doing that. That means gasoline's going back up. So with that, it looks like whatever this inflation was in August is the same as what it is in September or higher. It's great news. That is why you're the eyes and ears of this channel. And always when you post your comments in the live chat, when you see things going higher or lower, write what state you're in because it helps other people analyze as well. So with that, let's now do some analysis. You could be right. I could be wrong. The Seniors League could be right. They could be wrong. I could be wrong. Ultimately, we all learn on October 13th what the number will be. And that analysis is the following. The CPI-W for the month of July was an 8.7%. In the month of July, with that 8.7% CPI-W, the Seniors League said your benefits are going to go up 10%. This week, when the CPI-W went higher to a 8.9%, the Seniors League revised their number down to say your benefits are going up now 8.7%. Excuse me? Wait a second. Excuse me? Did I hear that right? The CPI-W went up this month compared to the prior month, and the Seniors League revised your benefits going down? Why? I don't know. I have no idea. It's their analysis. It doesn't make sense. Do I agree with it? No, I do not agree with it. So what is my projection across the board? I may be wrong. They may be right. You may be right. I may be wrong. I'm projecting your benefits to go up about 11 to 12%. 11 to 12% is what I'm projecting. But ultimately, we'll find out on October 13th. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe the Seniors League is right. We don't know. Now, here is something that is very, very important for you to understand about your ratio of benefits. I featured it last night on evenings. I know it's mornings. I know you may need an extra cup of coffee for this one, but this is very important. I'm going to slow it down for you because I know it's complicated. Your benefits are sometimes impacted by another force, and that is if you are on Medicare Part B. For the next 2 minutes, I'm only speaking to viewers who are on Medicare Part B. What happened last year? Last year, your COLA raised your benefits 5.9%. 6%. Pretty simple? Yeah, pretty simple. But your Medicare Part B premiums rose 14.5%. Follow me so far? Pretty simple. So your benefits check went up 6%, but your medical went up 15%. So you didn't get any real benefit from this higher raise because of COLA last year. Pretty simple? I think I got you. I think you're following so far. This year and in the future, that will never happen again. Why? The reason why this Medicare Part B rose last year was because of one and only one prescription medication, which Medicare has now removed. Congress has passed a law, and the one prescription is now cheap. So you will never see these astronomical Medicare Part B raises that you saw last year ever again. And so whatever raise of your benefits you get this year, it will not, repeat, not be eaten up by your Medicare Part B plan premiums if you're on Medicare Part B. Thank you for enduring that, because that is very, very important for my Medicare Part B viewers. It's data that you only see on this channel across the board. And this, my friends, is why you have to get a forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. You got to get that forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. There is now 14 categories of 300 checks of about $300,000. It's absolutely incredible, and you get it. How do you get it? You go into this video, you become a member. Become a member of this incredible, wonderful family, the Purple Power community. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Then get that membership newsletter delivered from me to you for members Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Go down to the membership newsletter and apply for individual checks. It's federal stimulus. It's from the federal government. The check doesn't know where you live. That's my new line. The check doesn't know where you live. The check also doesn't know what type of hairstyle you have. So don't ask. Is it in? No, the check doesn't know where you live. So it's absolutely incredible. 14 categories of incredible checks, and those incredible checks started in the month of March. They're absolutely huge. What happened? Let's recap. The first 3 checks are checks A, B, and C. Passed by the President of the United States by executive action in the month of March. Huge. About $100,000 in those first 3 checks, which I label A, B, and C. You qualify. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. And if you're on benefits, go get it. How do you get it? You go into the video and become a member. These were the first 3 checks done by executive action. Then, Congress about 4 weeks ago passed a bill that established the next 7 categories of checks, E through K. And since then, I have found checks L through Q for you as well, passed. That brings you now to 14 categories of incredible checks that are all featured in the membership newsletter 300 checks, upwards of $300,000. Get that membership signed up, get that membership newsletter, and go down and go apply for those incredible checks. Become a member, Purple Hawk, Purple Power, and Calcino VIP, and get those huge checks, which we'll go over in the big second half. The reaction of Wall Street to the news this week has been telling, but the reaction of the White House to the news also has been fascinating. I'll be going over that starting right now. The President of the United States spoke shortly after the market crash on September 13th. And September 13th. And what did he say when the markets saw an implosion down 1,100 points? The White House's comment at the time was that the economy is doing well. But is he correct? Let me go over his comments, and let's also go over what we saw in the data today. His comments were, first, that the U.S. economy is robust and will continue to be robust. The President of the United States said the following: the stock market doesn't necessarily reflect the state of the U.S. economy. Is that correct or is that incorrect? It is incorrect. The stock market does reflect the U.S. economy because, first, corporate earnings reflect your spending power, your consumer confidence, your savings, and similar. And the CPI, the retail sales, the PPI, is all data from the consumer. It's not from the stock market. Number two, he said unemployment is low. Well, 215,000 is good for a jobless claim number today, but it's not good indefinitely because we were 143,000 back in April. This 213 is just the lowest number since June. It's not particularly that low. And remember, labor falls apart later in a recession, not the start of the recession. Jobs are up, he said. That's actually untrue. Job creation released in the non-farm payroll number about 4 weeks ago showed that job creations dropped dramatically from about 500,000 to about 300,000. Next, the president also said that day, manufacturing is good. Clearly, the data today disproves that. The Philadelphia Fed number was supposed to be a growth in manufacturing of a positive number. It came in at a negative 9.9, showing a massive contraction of manufacturing. And then he says, I think we're going to be fine. Well, I think we will be if everything else comes together, which it hasn't yet. In the big second half, we're going to go over all these incredible checks. Become a member, Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Casino VIP. Plus, we'll be going over everything you need to know as the new day kicks up its feet. And we'll get a preview of what's happening today on a big afternoon's LALATE. We're going to go over all these incredible checks that you deserve and you can get. It's a huge week, and we're just getting started. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, I'll see you back in 60 seconds as a big, bold, beautiful morning to LA continues from the shores of Santa Monica, California. You want to become a member, stay a member, and get ready for all those incredible checks. See you back in 60 seconds.
If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE.
And the excitement continues right now in a big, bold, beautiful morning to LA from the shores of Santa Monica, California. Hope you have a beautiful day. It's September 15th, and I am excited you're here. During the commercial break, there's some great questions that people posted, and I want to answer some of those questions right now. They were exceptional. One coming in from Marvin, one coming in from Glenda, and one coming in from Lorraine. What were those comments? First, Marvin said, if inflation is up for a long time throughout the year, why do they gauge the benefits off of only 3 months of data? What a great question that is. One of the reasons is just logistics. They got to get ready to print out more money for you next year. And so they got to make the determination far in advance. So they can't make the announcement. They can't make the determination, in December and then send you a new check out in January. They have to do it further in advance. That is why they tee up the final month of October. It gives them about 60 days before they get ready to send you more money. Second, Marvin's question is great. Why not the whole year? Well, it's based upon what you're going into next year. So the concept is closer to what you're going into next year. For example, let's say January was a really great month. Then you wouldn't want great data in January impacting your next year because that was almost 12 months ago. A really good question. For your purposes, Marvin, we're all in a great position because the inflation is now the highest around this time. We've basically not cooled off on that inflation over the last 3 months. So that's a great question. Then Brenda had a great question. She applied for 3 checks and got denied. Should she reapply? Every state is different. Every place is different. Remember, you got 300 checks to get from this channel. So do not just look at 3 checks and call it a day. In the case of check C, you have 12 places to get those check Cs. So don't look to one place for check C and get a denial and just stop. Great question. And then Lorraine asked, was that one medication that has been removed from the Medicare Part Plan B equation, was it a diabetic medication? I don't remember. It was one medication with a very complicated name. And I'm just like, okay, I'm not going to even say this name because I don't even know how to pronounce it. I'll just move on. It's one medication. It's been removed. And yes, it was a catastrophe of a medication causing this massive raise. It is very likely it was a diabetic medication. I just don't know. And there you go. Great questions. You're all really on top of the ball this morning. Very impressed with you. There is now 300 checks, 14 categories of them, upwards of $300,000 available for you for stimulus checks in every U.S. state. This is federal stimulus from the federal government. And those incredible checks are just huge. A, B, and C passed by the President of the United States in March, executive action. Then Congress passing E through K by congressional action about 4 weeks ago. And then over the last few weeks, I found you L through Q, 14 categories. The checks are for you. A single individual, $75,000 less. Married couple, $150,000 less. Rent, own, with children, without children. Ahead on bills, behind on bills. You want to get as many of these checks as possible. You want to apply for as many checks as possible. Go get them. The largest check is about $100,000. The smallest check is about $8,000 to $10,000. The routing times, some of them are 3 days. Some of them are 5 days. Absolutely go get them. This is this massive stimulus and it's available right now. How do you get it? Step 1, go under this video, become a member to either LATE 1, LATE 2, LATE 3, or all 3 channels. Because all 3 channels deliver the same membership newsletter to you Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. When you get that newsletter, go down to check A, apply. B, apply. C, it tells you who to call for, 12 places. E through K, apply, and L through Q, go apply. Huge sums of money. Very, very straightforward. Get that money, get more money. As Lorraine and other viewers continue to do, keep on getting big sums of money. And there you go. Great news across the board. Now let's jump back into what Jay Powell and company are likely to do and why the bond traders are trading up that 2-year bond to a whopping 3.85 based upon what they anticipate from the Federal Reserve. Did I say earlier in this video that was a 3.8? It's actually a 3.85. By the end of the video, it'll be 3.9. Just, I thought my notes said 3.80. It's actually 3.85. I mean, that's insane. The movement in just 2 days. The Federal Reserve returns to their offices in just a few days from now, and they will have an interest rate spike for that month of September. And my projection, my analysis, my prediction is that the Federal Reserve will do interest rate spikes in September, October, November, December of 75 basis points each, and then continue a similar type of interest rate spike throughout much of the half of next year. Those interest rate spikes will be severe and will hurt a lot of swaths of this U.S. economy. And which swaths will be hurt? Anything that's driven by interest rates. Number one, housing. The 30-year fixed mortgage rate was about 3% last year. It's now 6%. Do you think anyone can afford a mortgage with a 6% mortgage? No. Do you think 7%? Oh, absolutely not. That's where we're heading. Existing home sales down, builders' confidence down, new home starts down, but this is going to get worse. So, if you have a home and you need to sell it now. If you're trying to buy a home and you really have to buy a home, buy it now, because these mortgage rates are going to get so austere that there will be no opportunity to be able to afford to get in a few weeks and a few months. Absolutely incredible across the board. Next, if you are exposed to a small business owner, and that's the next part of this economy that's going to get really tanked quickly across the board, that has debt, get ready to protect yourself accordingly. I don't know how you may be exposed. Perhaps you work at a small business that just has 2 employees and the business owner, and the furniture is on debt. The inventory being delivered daily is on debt. Small business owner, if he or she does not have those sales coming in on a regular basis or the sales drops, they're going to lose their shirt because the debt is going to be a lot more expensive every month compared to the prior month. Imagine how bad the debt is for them now. It's going to be a lot worse by by December with 6 more interest rate spikes. And then by next year, oh my goodness, even worse. This is why you got to get as much stimulus as you can. You got to remove your adjustable rate debt. Tell your friends and family or neighbors or sons, if they have any adjustable rate debt, get rid of it quickly. Car loans, credit card debt, and similar, get rid of it quickly. There's a series of comments that came out today and this week that all indicate that this economy is bad, but it's going to get a lot worse. That is what I've talked about a lot on this channel for a while, the September financial cliff. But I've also talked about January being the big hurt. The analysis coming in today is basically that most of the commentary, the analysts, now believe the end of this year is going to be really where you see the very, very cause for alarm. One of those commentaries that came in minutes ago today, September 15th, came from a billionaire investor. And what did he say? Get ready for the final quarter of this year where it really gets worse. His name, Barry Sternluck. I think it's going to be in the fourth quarter. I think that right now you're going to see cracks everywhere in this economy by the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter, of course, is the final 3 months this year. We're not there yet. And imagine those bond yields, 3.85, 3.84 when it was 3.73 just a few days ago. We also have another commentary that came in minutes ago from BTIG strategist Jonathan Krinsky. Says we're entering one of the worst seasonal stretches of the year through mid-October because it's a weak month. There's not a lot of buying in October. And he wrote that to clients minutes ago. We also had the analysis before the markets crash earlier this week from Fitch Ratings and also from Credit Suisse, that major bank. And Credit Suisse said, whatever low you see now, we're going to go lower than that. Of course, that's before the market crash of Tuesday. And then Fitch Ratings says, as the Federal Reserve continues to tighten those rates, the downward spiral of the U.S. economy will grow. So this is where we're headed. Ultimately, what you need to do is be data dependent. Here are the data points delivered by the U.S. economy on a regular basis for you to keep note of that are delivered to you on this channel 24/7. First, every month, the CPI, the PPI, and the retail sales are released in consecutive days, once a month. The CPI, the Consumer Price Index, how much you're paying for the goods, the milk, the eggs, the rent, the gasoline, the payroll, things like that. The next day is always the wholesalers' numbers, the Producer Price Index, PPI. The day after that is always the retail sales. That's today. That, again, as I delivered early in this recording, does not say you're buying more items, just that that one item is more expensive. Those are three numbers for inflation, always released in consecutive days every month. In between those 3 days of that month, there are other inflationary data that is released. The job creation number and the personal consumption expenditure index, which is one of the best numbers we can use, the PCE. Over housing. Housing has the data once a month, which is the new home starts, the existing home starts, and the builder confidence. In between that, we have the price of homes and the time that the homes are on the market as data released as well. For labor, we have two different labor numbers. We have the weekly jobless claims number released every Thursday morning on Mornings LALATE live on air. This, I guess, is about our 40th week of this channel, and the 40th week in which I've had it live on air. Then once a month, we have the unemployment rate from the Department of Labor, very different number than the jobless claims number. And then once a month, we have the Federal Reserve meeting with those interest rate spikes. Again, they do not meet in the month of August. If you take that data and you remember the data, you put that data first, along with any commentary or statements from the Federal Reserve, which is basically data, then you will be ahead of the ballgame. Getting that stimulus, getting as much stimulus as you can, becoming a member, putting the data first. And then you can look at the analysis out there and let it marinate. Agree with it, disagree with it, but never put analysis before data. And that's how you will win. And that's how we've come together as a credible family. Post in the live chat whenever you see data, gasoline, milk, or eggs, and also post where you live, what state you're in, so that someone in Wisconsin can see if they're seeing eggs going up like you're seeing it go up in Virginia, or gasoline going down in Texas while it's going up in California, or the salaries up in New Mexico while they're also up in New England. That's how we do it as a family. Become a part of the Purple Power family. The programming continues throughout the day with the shows all on the hour. Home is at 11 a.m. Then we have 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock afternoon, a brand new afternoons at 3, evenings at 5. And then the programming continues with 6, 7, 8, 9, and throughout the night as well. Jumping on all the live shows on LALATE 1, LALATE 2, and LALATE 3. And don't forget to become a member. Thank you for those incredible questions that were featured from Brenda and the individual asking about inflation, and also Lorraine. Become a member. Get all these incredible sums of money and stay with me throughout the day. We got a lot of programming still coming up. Stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful day, and stay with LA for more.